This session comprises of two main parts. The second part will resume after the break. We will begin in this part with a series of presentations that introduce the concept and the methodology of sanitary safety planning. We will also share highlights from the recent FAO-led pilot projects across various countries, reflecting on the technical and policy dimensions of SSP from a regional and also from a national perspective. Part two of the session will resume with national experiences as well, and it will be followed by a dynamic panel discussion, bringing together representatives from utilities, from the government, and also from academia. We also plan to take several breaks where we're going to be engaging with you in some interactive discussions and questions, so we count also on your active participation to make this session more dynamic. So without further ado, I would like now to give the floor to Mr. Nabil Assaf, FAO Regional Representative in Jordan, for his opening remarks for this session. Mr. Nabil.
Maali al-Wazir, Excellencies, distinguished participants, colleagues and friends, good morning. It's truly a pleasure to welcome you all on this important session on advancing sanitation safety planning for resilient water systems, organized within the framework of the 7th Arab Water Week. I want to begin by expressing my sincere appreciation to the Arab Countries Water Utility Association, ACWA, for co-organizing this session. We're waiting for Khaldun. And for the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDA, for their collaboration and commitment with FAO to advance sustainable and resilient water solution across the region. The challenge of water scarcity in our region has become increasingly urgent as the impact of climate change intensify, decades of unsustainable management, coupled with rapid population growth, accelerated urbanization, climate variability, and extreme weather events, is stretching our water resources to the breaking point. The United Nations World Water Development Report 2024 projects that by 2050, the entire population of the region will experience extremely high water stress. Water scarcity is risking not only agricultural productivity, but will also undermine broader socioeconomic development and environmental sustainability. We must rethink how the value of water, recognizing is not just a commodity, but as a precious resource essential to life, to livelihoods, ecosystems, and future generations. Building a resilient water system that can absorb shocks, support a growing population, and maintain land and water productivity is vital for the future of this region, and is considered central to achieving healthy communities, food security, and sustainable economic growth. Within non-conventional water solutions comes the safe reuse of treated wastewater in agriculture. Once seen as an alternative, wastewater reuse currently presents a strategic opportunity to augment water supplies for agricultural development, but only if adequately supported by robust regulatory frameworks that emphasize quality assurance and safety standards. Reuse of treated wastewater is often operated within fragmented policy environments where cross-sector coordination is lacking. Therefore, health-related concerns remain a significant challenge for advancing on such approach. Sanitation safety planning hereby represents a practical tool designed to help sanitation operators maximize health benefits while minimizing associated health risk. It provides a structured approach for prioritizing and targeting risk management efforts where they will have the most significant impact, fostering continuous system improvement. Ladies and gentlemen, within this broader strategic vision, FAO, through its Regional Water Scarcity Initiative and in close partnership with the League of Arab States under the umbrella of the Joint Water and Agriculture Ministerial Council, with support from SIDA, has embarked on a new regional program last year to support countries in advancing sanitation safety planning. This activity aims to promote safe treated wastewater reuse as a sustainable and reliable source for agricultural production. It also aims to advocate risk-based management approaches that prioritize preventive action and cross-sectoral collaboration. Following the recommendations issued by the High-Level Joint Technical Committee for Water and Agriculture during its 5th meeting in Cairo in November 2023, FAO has been providing direct support to 4 countries, Palestine, Jordan, Libya, and Tunisia, to prepare and implement pilot sanitation safety plans. These efforts aim not only to optimize treated wastewater reuse, but also to safeguard public health and environmental integrity. To operationalize this vision, national multidisciplinary teams were formed to work on the development of national case studies that foster a deeper understanding of risk management along the ecological health and food chain and reinforce the importance of integrated sectoral cooperation. The diversity and complexity of the selected case studies highlights the need for tailor-made, site-specific solutions. Furthermore, cross-country learning platform organized through regular virtual meetings and exchanges across the participating countries reflected that the need to share experiences, address challenges, and foster a spirit of regional solidarity in addressing common water security concerns. Ladies and gentlemen, today's session is an opportunity to reflect on the lessons learned from this pioneering regional experience. It also offers a platform to identify the challenges that must be addressed to scale up the adoption of integrated sanitation safety planning across the region. We have the technical tools, scientific knowledge, and partnership necessary to drive meaningful change. But the ultimate success of this endeavor lies in the political will to promote innovation and invest in building resilient, inclusive, and sustainable water management systems. Let us use this gathering not only to share knowledge, but also mobilize action, to catalyze momentum toward institutionalization of sanitation safety planning and to advance safe water reuse as a strategic pillar of food and water security for our region. Thank you again for being here, and I wish you a productive and inspiring session. Shukran jazilan.
Thank you, Mr. Nabil Assaf, for your insightful remarks and for emphasizing how sanitary safety planning offers a transformative and cross-sectoral approach to manage health and also environmental risks along the entire sanitation chain, from the collection to transport to treatment, reuse, and also disposal. Now, as we are waiting for our speakers for the opening ceremony, as they encountered some delays due to the rainfall, that unexpected rainfall that was encountered this morning, maybe we can move now to setting the stage for the technical discussions that we plan to have in this session by turning our attention to the Water Scarcity Initiative, a flagship regional effort led by FAO in collaboration with partners to address the critical growing challenge of water scarcity in the Near East and North Africa. This initiative actually provides the regional framework of action where all of the technical work on sanitary safety planning is actually developed underneath. I now ask Dr. Mohammed Al-Hamdi, the Senior Land and Water Officer and the Delivery Manager of this initiative, to walk us through the initiative objectives, structure, new program, and key achievements, and how it continues to drive transformative change across the region. Mohammed, over to you.
Thank you, Hiba. صباح الخير عليكم جميعا. احنا حقيقة كنا منتظرين حد من السفارة السويدية ممثل عن سيدا، لأن المبادرة أساساً ممولة من وكالة التنمية الدولية السويدية، بالإضافة إلى شريكنا في التنظيم لهذا الجلسة أكوا. فبالتالي احنا كنا منتظرين للسيد خلدون خشمان كمان يكون موجود معنا في الأوبننج، لكن بسبب التأخير حقدم العرض، وإن شاء الله عندما يأتوا ممكن هم يعني يلقوا الكلمات الترحيبية. Yes, you want? Actually, what I will be, we have Khaldun. صباح الخير يا خلدون. You came on time, لكن I will present and then you can later, maybe after my presentation.
امبارح دبكت كثير، كمان ما دبكت صحيت متشنج بعذروني.
ان شاء الله بس ما تتشنج معنا في ان شاء الله ما تتشنج معنا في السيشن. داون هذا بيمشي.
So maybe we continue.
Maybe we can then go on, continue, since we have Magnus and Khaldun. Maybe we can have the opening speeches first, and then I can come to the presentation. Magnus, Khaldun, over to you.
Yes, sorry about that. So Nabil, maybe back to the stage. So we want to have a photo as well.
لا يا سيدي، امبارح دبكنا كثير وتعبوا.
Yes, so Mr. Nabil already delivered his opening remarks, emphasizing how sanitary safety planning offers a transformative and cross-sectoral approach to manage health and environmental considerations, which is really needed to protect the whole chain of sanitation, from the collection to transport, the reuse, and also the disposal. Now I turn to our host, Engineer Khaldun Khashman, for his remarks for this session.
Okay, it's good. Yesterday it was not working anyhow. First of all, good morning, and again, I would like to apologize. It was extraordinary night. Since many years, I did not make dabka or dance, as you see. When we talk about sanitation safety plan, it started with the water safety plan before, WHO, then the integrated water and sanitation safety plan. And in Jordan, it was the first time. I would like to thank Dr. Maha Halalshe, which 6 years before or 10 years, told me that we have to go and try to adopt the sanitation safety plan in Jordan and in the region. And it was the Dr. Ghada Sabah al-Khair. It was the dream of us to go, and we tried many tests with Swiss agency, etc. At the end, we had a proposal. We have two initiatives. The first initiative, which was start with FAO. We had a training program here in Jordan for some regional countries from Libya, I think, and other countries. And again, the hub came with the UNICEF project that awarded to us to make institutionalization of water and sanitation safety plan in the water sector in Jordan. Saying that it's not only institutionalization, it's not a training or it is just put a report, but to build a full, complete setup within the ministry that will exist for years and years. Therefore, we were talking about analyzing the structure, the mandate of every, let me say, department, and then we said there will be departments, should be a units or departments in every entity. And here I would like to welcome my friend Muayyad. Also, he is from the pioneer in that. Then we decided that there will be a department, and it should be on the higher level, contacted with the decision maker. It's within the laboratories and quality assistant secretary general. And at the same time, in every utility, there should be a small unit, whatever they call it. Some people, they call it department, whatever. It's according to this, the structure of the companies. We form also a governing committee. This governing committee is responsible. All the utilities has to submit their annual plans to this governing committee. They will approve it. And again, they will have to meet always to see what progress they made. And there will be the regulatory body. At that time, there was a vague about the regulatory body in Jordan. It was dissolved, and again, it's back. So it will be within the regulatory body. They will put key performance indicators and see the progress in that and try to measure the performance of every utility according to the mandate of their utilities. Moreover, we built training programs, put a roadmap, and also roadmap and training plan, and the gap of the employees needed in every department, and the mandate of everyone. By this, you complete the circle of institutionalization of water and sanitation safety plan. Within that also, we saw those people in that ministry who are in charge of water demand, of water supply, and it is all the people involved in the safety of the water and sanitation safety plan are available there. Who will be heading this governance committee is the Secretary General of WAJ, because he's responsible mainly in producing water, and WAJ, Water Authority of Jordan, is owning the three big companies here. Hopefully, by the way, and the structure and everything will be approved by the Board of Directors of WAJ and Board of Directors of Jordan Valley, because Jordan Valley also, they have most of the water resources are there in King Abdullah Canal. Once everything is approved, it will be sent directly to the cabinet, where he will endorse everything. And in the future, if Mr. Yusuf Al-Hitan become a minister, he can't ignore it. It's the decision of the cabinet. Saying that I think this issue should be repeated everywhere. If you need a comprehensive water and sanitation safety plan, and try to protect your precious water resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Khaldun Khashman, for highlighting the complexity of the adoption and the implementation of sanitary safety plan and the required efforts to bring together the required technical teams, the institutionalization frameworks, and also the capacity that is needed to successfully implement these plans. Now I move to our last speaker for this opening session, Mr. Magnus Andre, the Regional Program Manager for Environment and Climate Change from the Swedish Embassy. Magnus, the word to you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And my apologies for being late. Very sorry to have missed your opening remarks, Excellency. I'm from the Swedish Embassy. I work with Regional Development Corporation for the Middle East and North Africa. Sweden's Development Corporation is focused on improving the conditions and the lives of the most poor and the most vulnerable. Strategic priorities for the MENA region includes environment and climate change, natural resource management, private sector development, and human rights. And sanitation safety planning is relevant for all those areas. Correctly done, sanitation safety planning can contribute to bringing more water resources online by having circulation of water. Sewerage, the nutrients in the sewerage can be extracted in a safe manner to produce agricultural inputs of importance. And energy, if the process is designed correctly, can be produced, making the water treatment process both more cost efficient and efficient, or cost effective and cheap. So I'm going to be brief, but I would like to make 2 points. The first is the need to involve the private sector. The entrepreneurs with the knowledge and the risk capital from the private sector can make things happen at scale. This is very important. But the private sector, they need regulations, a framework to understand what kind of product can we and what kind of services can we offer in this space. So for them to be able, for us to be able to harness the dynamics of the private sector with their know-how and with their expertise, there needs to be some kind of framework in place. But once that's in place, I know there are a lot of actors that are willing to engage and invest in order to make sanitation and the reuse of water more efficient and less costly. Sweden is currently supporting Challenge Fund, providing capitals to companies who have solutions or innovations in the nexus area, the water, energy and food nexus. This is something that we have been doing in partnership for about 5 years now, and this is an area where we're looking to expand our footprint. The second area I would like to emphasize is the need to attract additional sources of funding. Sweden is one of the bigger donors to the global climate and environmental funds. You have the Green Climate Fund, the Global Environmental Facility, the Adaptation Fund, and sanitation safety planning can be used to produce or develop projects that are relevant from a resilience perspective, from a climate mitigation and a climate adaptation perspective. So with the correct support, with, as we heard, collaboration between different agencies responsible for water, agriculture, and health, we can develop projects that would be very attractive for climate funding and to capture, because we all know how vulnerable the Middle East and North Africa is for the impacts of climate change. We need to have more climate finance flowing to the region, especially in terms of adaptation, and basing it on something concrete, tested, and so logical as sanitation safety plans can be very valuable. So basically, apart from that, my points are that sanitation and water scarcity in general, because that's what we're working with FAO, so sanitation safety planning contributes to water scarcity if done correctly. This is a very complex problem. It has to be addressed cross-cuttingly. We have to engage the private sector, and we need to make sure that the pilots and the project activities that we do can be picked up and supported by financial institutions and other actors with more resources, because we need impact at scale. And I'm hoping, and I think that the discussions today will contribute to those areas, and I very much look forward to hearing the experts in the room. Thank you.
Thank you, Agnes. This is very interesting, and I'm sure, with the audience that we have in this room, we're going to be exploring today several case studies that actually highlights how these pilots envisioned ways to adapt to climate change, actually, particularly in Tunisia, because they've been experiencing several drought events, and how the work that we've been doing in Tunisia will be contributing to the adaptation of drought in the region. Now I move back to you, Mohammed, to walk us through the Water Scarcity Initiative and program, and maybe the details of the collaboration with SIDA.
Thank you, Hiba, and thank you to all our speakers in the opening. I'll be presenting here, so if you would like maybe to sit there so that you can. Thanks to our speakers in the opening, because they have jumped into the subject. Now, what I want to do is I want just to take one step back to show how sanitation safety planning incorporates or is within an overall, a broader perspective of the Water Scarcity Initiative, and where it sits in addition to the other elements of water scarcity. So that's what I will be trying to highlight today very quickly. And if you look at the title, the Regional Water Scarcity Initiative, a platform for collaboration and partnership. And that's what I want to highlight today. The Water Scarcity Initiative, which was launched in 2013 in Amman, in December. I think everybody remembers, I was not here, but everybody tells me that it was snowing. It's probably the worst snow that Amman ever experienced on that day, and they had delayed the session, etc. So on December 2013, the initiative was launched. And one key element, and I'm only going to focus on this, one key element of the initiative is the collaborative and partnership notion of the initiative. In December 2013, which is over 11 years ago, there was many organizations coming to that session, to the launch, and you can see here there are something like 19, 18 institutions who declared that they declared their strong interest and willingness to work together, drawing on their collective knowledge and resources in an effective, action-oriented, and results-based regional partnership. This is the exact text then in 2013. So you see the collaborative and partnership element of the Water Scarcity Initiative was already there from the very beginning. And we have the World Bank, WFP, UNESCO, so many institutions, IMI, ICARDA, ESQA, so AOAD, League of Arab States, everybody's there. And they have declared this. And this is and the objective of the initiative, of course, is water scarcity. So it's to contribute to inclusive and sustainable development in the context of increasing water scarcity, which is being made worse by climate change. So that is an important element. So the collaborative nature of the initiative is that the initiative works across sectors, works across themes, works across organizations, and works across regions. So, and all of this is coordinated by FAO. We do not claim that we own the initiative. As you have seen from the declaration, we only coordinate the initiative. It is owned by everyone. So it is really owned by all those who have declared their commitment to work together. Now, I will give some examples of how the initiative works across sectors, across themes, across organizations, etc. With regard to across sectors, we've worked very closely to strengthen institutional coordination and policy coherence between water and agriculture. And we work at the ministerial level, at the League of Arab States, with the ministers of water, ministers of agriculture. We supported the establishment of a high-level joint technical committee, of which is looking at cross-cutting issues. I'll come to this. And one of those cross-cutting issues between water and agriculture is sanitation safety planning, and this is where it comes. Now, the second is enhanced partnership. We have a platform with our partners, and we work with them at two levels. One is to exchange what we do to each other, and also then we're moving into joint planning. And I'll explain that, how we do that with the support from SIDA. And we've also moved from within FAO across regions. And here we also have established the inter-regional technical platform to speak with our sister regional offices of FAO. We have in FAO worldwide 5 regional offices, and we're discussing with them. We are the only platform on water scarcity. So we're actually not teaching them, but learning together with them on issues related to water scarcity. So take you, for example, to the first joint ministerial meeting in 2019, where the Cairo Declaration was endorsed by the joint ministers of water and agriculture. And this is, of course, an institutional intergovernmental process of the League of Arab States. They're not doing this for us in FAO. So they're doing this as an institutional intergovernmental process. And they said that the joint ministerial meetings they take place every 2 years. They established the high-level joint technical committee, which meets every year. We support the meetings, and they are usually done at the Cairo Water Week. And they also established the joint secretariat. The way we support this intergovernmental process is through this chart here in the lower left. It shows the science policy interface, how we strengthen making policies, strengthening the League of Arab States, the sectors of water and agriculture together, make better use of science. And that's what we do. So the high-level joint technical committee, they identify what are the cross-cutting issues. In our case, this case, sanitation safety planning, non-conventional water, reuse of treated wastewater. And then they prioritize those cross-cutting issues. We help them develop a technical position. In this case, we did develop a framework that was endorsed by the high-level joint technical committee on sanitation safety planning. And then we move into endorsement of that policy direction, so it becomes a policy direction. The framework is now a policy direction. And then we move into piloting. And that's the key word, is trying to apply that policy direction on the ground at pilot scale in some of the countries. And then learn from that. Magnus was indicated to upscaling investment so that the private sector and the countries. Now, with the piloting, we show the way. Then the countries can come in with their own financial resources or attract funds from funding agencies to upscale the results that have been achieved at the pilot stage. So I just mentioned quickly the issue of sanitation safety planning, but we also do this with, for example, the cross-cutting issue on water allocation. Same approach, the same principle. Guidelines we developed at the technical level, they endorsed it as a policy direction. We're doing piloting in 4 countries. And now we're not doing piloting based on our desire. We don't select the countries. The countries ask and request to be included in this. So in the case of sanitation safety planning, we have Libya, we have Tunis, we have Palestine and Jordan. And it's not us who selected those countries. These countries requested to be included, and they wanted to pilot. And they also, they established, what Nabil indicated, a multidisciplinary team, so a team between water, agriculture, environment, and they decide on the site, the pilot site, they decide on how to go about this. We provide the technical and financial support to prepare the plans, and inshallah, once the plans are prepared, to implement those plans. At the pilot, so we cannot really upscale nationally. Now, moving in, how do we collaborate across organizations? We have a platform and across themes. We have a platform where we have, with our partners, monthly meetings, and we have 4 working clusters. We call them clusters. So the first cluster on resilience and climate change adaptation, the second on water productivity tools and analytics, the third on non-conventional water resources, where sanitation safety planning is, and the last on water governance. And you can see the coordinators for these 4 working clusters is not FAO. We're only one, each of those working clusters is coordinated by 2 partners. For example, the first one on climate change adaptation, it's UN ESCWA and ACSAD. On water productivity, FAO and ICARDA. Non-conventional water, it's IMI and the Arab Water Council, and water governance is UNESCO and Sanitary. So you see, this is a partnership platform, and we coordinate. We're the secretariat for it. This just reflects how we work across themes and across organizations. Now, so far, it has worked to exchange. They tell us what they're doing, and we tell them what we're doing, so we learn from one another and exchange. Now, we want to move from exchange to programming, joint planning. And that's what we have actually achieved with the support from financial support from SIDA and their commitment to regional programs and the Regional Water Scarcity Initiative. We have developed this Water Scarcity Initiative program. And it's supposed to be a multi-donor. So far, we only have SIDA with us, but hopefully other donors will come in. And you can see the initiative was launched in COP28 in Dubai. And it has it's structured under 3 pillars, 3 outcomes: governance, resilience, and knowledge. And under those 3, we have 17 outputs. And under those 17 outputs are translated into around 70 activities. Now, do we do this alone? No, we've developed this program together with core partners. In this case, it's besides FAO, ESCWA, IGBA, ICARDA, IMI, and UNICEF. And of course, we work with the other partners like League of Arab States, Arab Organization for Agricultural Development, RICRI, etc. So we have so many other partners as well. But we're implementing, the main implementers are the 6 organizations. Now, we've signed with all of them. We developed the program and activities, and we're now we've started. I mean, the sanitation safety planning, we have already started a while ago. It was funded from within FAO, and now we're engaging the program and the funds from SIDA on it, and also water allocation. But for the other activities, we're starting this year. And we have started in the first quarter of this year. And here you can see the range of topics and outputs. It goes from everything to everything because of the comparative advantage. And that's the added value is FAO cannot do all of this, but with the others we can. So coming together has its advantages. The IRTP, the Interregional Technical Platform, I mentioned that we work across regions. We're leading within FAO the issue of water scarcity with the other regional offices. We have 5 regional offices all over the world. And we're leading, so we're learning from one another in the regional offices on what water scarcity means to us and to them. To us, it is mainly water availability. To them, it's water quality, it's transboundary water, it's so many other things. So the notion of water scarcity is not only lack of water physically, but so many other things. So, and that's why the IRTP is trying to develop knowledge products, trying to identify best practices, and try to match investment opportunities with those best practices throughout the regional offices and also the stakeholders of the regional offices. I've talked too much, I know I talked too much, but excuse me. And if there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those.
Thank you, Mohammed, for the presentation. And now we will be diving into the details of the sanitary safety planning framework that was customized particularly for the Arab countries to overcome some of the implementation gaps. I now ask Dr. Maha Halalshah to give us a quick glimpse of how this framework works and what are the timelines before we go through the details of the concepts of the sanitary system. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a very good, comprehensive presentation from the speakers who did the opening remarks, but also from Al-Hamdi. Well, the detailed steps of the WHO guidelines will be presented by the WHO, but the only thing that I want to share with you is a couple of slides showing the steps that we went through together with the three pilot countries, particularly Tunisia, Jordan, and Palestine, to develop the pilot sanitation safety plans for selected sites in each country. So what we did first is developed a kind of framework that can be used as a guideline through the development of sanitation safety planning for all countries, and that was presented already in the on the Cairo Water Week 2023. So that was already some years ago. And then following that framework, we started to focus on the particular case in each country, which is, again, it's not only particular case or one case for one country. For each sanitation safety plan, it is site-specific. It really depends on the context, on the case that we are developing the sanitation safety plan for. And that was really something that gave a kind of taste, at least from my point of view, because each selected site can share the experience with the other site, and we learned from each other's quite well. But how did we do that? Is, as already mentioned, I think earlier, it was lots of virtual meetings, lots of face-to-face, also face-to-face meetings, workshops, site visits, and so on. So the groups after the presentation of the WHO will focus more on the site-specific pilot case. They will show the efforts that has been done in order to develop the sanitation safety plan for each country. So each representative will talk about their case, and I will not go in detail through that. Of course, we followed the steps that was developed by or produced by WHO Manual 2022, which consists of 6 modules to develop the plan, and already went through it as module by module. And this will also be presented by the groups. We presented on 2024, or we started to develop the modules, and on the Cairo Water Week on 2024, we were presenting that to the high joint technical committee in the Cairo Water Week. And then currently the progress that has been done, it really depends on the case. In Jordan, we are currently in the last module. In the Tunisian case and in Palestine case, we are in the 3rd module. Of course, the modules themselves will be presented by the WHO colleague who will talk in specific or go through it from preparation phase, in which we developed all of the or formed all of the committees, whether are technical or steering committees, and then system description of the sites, the water systems, the sanitation system, who are connected, who are not connected, what are the risks that are associated with each step along the sanitation chain. The plan forward is we have to submit on June again or present to the High Technical Committee in Cairo the findings, which we are approaching the final end product. And by July, we have to finalize and submit the final report that includes all the case studies. Parallel to that, this one, no, this one. Where? هذا اللي we are شايفة. Parallel to that, of course, we, as Al-Hamdi mentioned, we have, and Khashman mentioned already, that we have also in the pilot case in Jordan moved forward for institutionalization of the sanitation and water safety planning through a project that is funded by the UNICEF, and we already did the assessment, and we expect that at least for the Jordanian case, we will move forward for a sustainable system, and looking forward also for the other cases to move ahead in that. The FAO now is also doing a kind of development of training material that can be used easily by anyone who wants to make use of the pilot sites, and this is not, it should not be a repetition of the training materials that has already been developed. The only thing that is different is that we will use the pilot sites within the training material to showcase and have real examples that cover the whole steps presented by the guidelines and complete the cycle. Hopefully, after we submit the final report, as well, we will go for implementation. The FAO will cover some control measures that were proposed by the countries to control the sanitation chain. And the only thing that we are also looking forward is then afterwards, like how we will get training on the monitoring part, how we will implement that and check, stay in the cycle that will be presented in a minute, I think, by my colleague Suhaib, right? And that's all. I think I will give the floor to Suhaib, who will finish diving more on the sanitation safety planning as presented by the WHO. Thank you.
Thank you, Maha. So as you saw, actually, this work has started around a year and a half ago. It started with the development of multidisciplinary teams from the Ministry of Water, from the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, walking them through the WHO modules and customizing these modules to fit the country context. Currently, we are in the stage of the finalization of these plans, hoping that we can start the implementation by July with the support of SIDA, and at the same time we're working on a capacity development program tailored to this region, where we're going to use the outcomes of these from these pilot experiences to enrich the training material that can be then disseminated across the whole countries in the main region. Now I ask Suhaib to walk us through the details of the WHO modules that defines the different steps required to undertake the development of the sanitary safety planning in details. Suhaib, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh jami'an. Good morning, everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank each of you for attending our session for today on sanitation safety planning. And I would like also to thank the organizers, FAO and Aqua, to inviting us to attend this session. It's a pleasure to attend and be part of the 7th Arab Water Week. My name is Suhaib Abu Hammour. I'm currently working with the WHO, the Eastern Mediterranean Regional Office, as Senior Technical Assistant on WASH. WASH stands for Water, Sanitation and Hygiene. And today I'll be presenting to you a short and brief introduction on sanitation safety planning. So let's get started. وين لازم أكبس هيك؟ Okay. So the session objectives, what we aim to achieve today, inshallah, today's presentation will take around 10 to 15 minutes. By the end of this presentation, we are aiming, hopefully, inshallah, to understand the core definition of the sanitation safety planning. What do we mean by sanitation safety planning? Why it matters. Then the second objective is to recognize the benefits of the sanitation safety planning. I'll briefly highlight the key benefits that adopting the sanitation safety planning approach could bring to various sectors, including environment, water, agriculture, and health sector. Then lastly, I'll briefly introduce the WHO's sanitation safety planning step-by-step structured framework. I'll walk you briefly through the 6 key phases of the sanitation safety planning, and we will see what are the available tools and resources in order to support the implementation of the SSP approach. So let's dive in now. What is exactly sanitation safety planning? So sanitation safety planning, it's a systematic, structured, step-by-step approach. It's a health risk assessment and management tool designed for all sanitation systems. The first manual edition of the sanitation safety planning was developed by the World Health Organization, WHO, in 2015, with the latest update in 2022. So now, how does the SSB tool work? It works by analyzing water travels from its source, the generation, the toilet, all the way to its final disposal or reuse, by covering the entire sanitation service chain. Then it focuses on analyzing what are the potential hazards, hazardous events, and risks that could impact the sanitation safety. Then, by implementing corrective actions and control measures to address the identified risks in order to protect the health, public health of the communities and the environment from contamination. So the fundamental purpose of the SSB, it aims to ensure safely managed, sustainable and resilient sanitation systems and services. Here are some key features of the sanitation safety planning approach. It's a systematic. So as you can see here, it's a systematic and continuous approach. It's a living document. It's not a one-time activity, but it is an ongoing cycle of incremental improvement. It's a comprehensive approach by addressing any potential risks or hazards at every stage of the sanitation service chain, from T to T, from toilet all the way, covering the entire sanitation service chain until it reaches the final step, which is end use or disposal. Here are an example of the sanitation service chain. It's very important to mention that the sanitation safety planning tool is applicable to all types of sanitation services and sanitation system, regardless of their size, for large sanitation systems, small sanitation systems, regardless the complexity, for on-site sanitation system, off-site sanitation system, and regardless of the geographical location in urban areas and in rural areas. So now moving to the next slide, which is what are the key benefits of the sanitation safety planning. I will highlight now briefly some of the key benefits that adopting the sanitation safety planning approach could bring to different sectors. So now, by successfully developing and implementing the sanitation safety planning tool in an effective way, we can achieve the following, which is the common goal: safely managed, sustainable, and resilient sanitation system. So SSB can help us by maximizing the health benefits of the sanitation, minimizing the health risks, by guiding the necessary improvement and investments toward the most impactful, and it's a coordination tool. It uncovers and addresses the vulnerability in our sanitation system, so it enables us to achieve safely managed sanitation system. So this foundation then deliver crucial benefits across different areas and domains. As you can see here, the environment, By implementing SSP in an effective way, we can promote environmental sustainability, and we can protect our water sources from contamination, protect our soil from contamination, and prevent air pollution. On the other side, agriculture and economy, by implementing the sanitation safety planning tool, we can safely ensure the safe use of treated wastewater, the safe reuse of the sludge, enabled by the SSB can boost agricultural productivity, and it can improve livelihoods of the communities. And at the core, SDGs acceleration. So the SSB tool accelerated progress towards achieving Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which is clean water and sanitation for all. And it also indirectly supports SDG number 3, which is health and well-being for all, specifically in particular target 3.9.2 related to wash deaths, mortality attributed to unsafe wash. So the SSB tool can help us in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals and ultimately protect public health. So by implementing sanitation safety planning tool and adopting this approach, we can proactively managing sanitation risks in a preventative and in a proactive way to prevent the disease transmission and specifically the waterborne diseases. So here are some of the key benefits that adopting the SSB approach could bring to us. Now, the last slide. What are the key steps of the sanitation safety planning? Now I will briefly introduce to you the sanitation safety planning framework that WHO has developed. It provides a clear pathway for practitioners in order to develop, implement, and to maintain their sanitation safety plans on the long term. So it begins with the preparation, scoping phase, by asking ourselves the following questions. Where should the SSB be done? So we identify the geographical area of the SSB, selecting and agreeing on the sanitation safety planning boundaries. Then who should be involved after conducting stakeholders analysis and stakeholders mapping? We should assemble multidisciplinary team from different areas and different sectors, including health, environment, agriculture, etc. After assembling the multidisciplinary team, we have to agree on the lead organization and appoint team leader, then to lead the process, then lastly to assign clear roles and responsibilities for each of the SSB team members. And we can here agree and establish initially and tentatively the SSB priorities. Moving to the next crucial step, which is characterization, sanitation system description, where we here asking ourselves, how does the sanitation service chain work? What comes in and what goes out? By comprehensively and thoroughly describing the sanitation service chain from toilet, point of generation, all the way to the point of disposal, we should identify any potential vulnerabilities in our system, identify the exposure groups, and then to agree on the system and to confirm the system description with the team before we heading to step number 3, which is risk assessment and management. In this step, we ask ourselves what could go wrong by identifying potential hazards event and risks that could impact the sanitation safety, then to evaluate the effectiveness of the current existing control measures. Are they effective in mitigating the identified risk? Lastly, we have to conduct the risk assessment. Risk assessment based on the likelihood of occurrence, the frequency, and the impact, the possible severity of damage. After calculating the risk score, the SSB team, agree on the SSB high risk priorities. So we have then to prioritize the risks in order to address them. How could we address them? By developing and implementing incremental improvement plan, including corrective actions and control measures in order to identify, address the potential risks. So this step produced the following key product, which is prioritized incremental improvement plan outlining who will be doing what, when and where and how. After after developing and implementing the incremental improvement plan, we move to step number 5, phase number 5, which is monitoring and evaluation. In this step, we monitor the control measures and evaluate the overall effectiveness of the plan. So this key step produced the following key product, which is operational monitoring plan with regular monitoring and observation in order to ensure the correctness and in order to ensure the achievement of the objective of the SSP. Then periodic verification and auditing in order to evaluate the overall effectiveness of the sanitation safety plan. So lastly, step number 6, which is implement supporting programs and regularly review plans, where we ask ourselves here, how should the SSB be supported? For example, capacity building programs, awareness raising campaigns, community engagement, and then how can we adapt to change? As I mentioned earlier, it's a living document. It should be regularly revisited and updated in order to ensure correct and effective implementation of the SSB. So now, this is the WHO framework to develop and implement sanitation safety plan. I just want to highlight now at the core of this framework, which is stakeholder engagement. It's a key point to ensure successful development and implementation. We have to ensure effective communication and coordination among the different stakeholders and different sectors that are involving in developing and implementing the sanitation safety plan. So now you can access the WHO SSB tools and resources at the Sanitation Safety Planning Learning Hub, where you can find the SSB manual, PowerPoint presentations, short videos, SSB trainer's guide, sample of worksheets, and case study for SSB worked example. So at the closing, to summarize, the SSB offers and provides a clear, powerful, collaborative framework that enable us to manage our sanitation system in effective and in safely manner. SSB requires a strong collaborative and coordinated efforts among different stakeholders. We call to institutionalize and we recommend to adopt the integrated approach to integrate water safety planning with sanitation safety planning and to institutionalize them in order to ensure effective implementation at national level. Then we call you to partner with WHO and to provide any technical guidance or support. And that's it. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Sohaib, Senior Technical Assistant at WHO EMRO, for providing insights into the WHO guidelines and walking us through the conceptual foundation and tools of the sanitary safety planning. Now we're going to move from the concepts to the real-world applications with the first presentation from Jordan on their experience on the development of sanitary safety plan for the Wadi Musa treatment plant. Jordan has taken important steps towards the development of sanitary safety planning for Wadi Musa with a very strong engagement, as you will see, from national authorities, utilities, and also the operators. I now pleased to welcome Engineer Amani Tahani, Director of the Water Demand Management Directorate at the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation in Jordan, to walk us through the practical aspects and challenges and lessons learned on rolling out the SSP in Jordan, also with the support of our technical advisor for SSP, Dr. Maha Halalcha. Amani and Maha, over to you.
شكرا لحضوركم جميعا والسلام عليكم. أنا المهندسة أماني ركاب طعاني، مدير مديرية إدارة الطلب على المياه. رح أتحدث باسم الفريق الوطني للمملكة الأردنية الهاشمية لإعداد خطة سلامة إعادة استخدام المياه المعالجة في الزراعة. عن مبررات اختيار الموقع كمحطة وادي موسى، والطرق وخطوات العمل اللي اتبعناها، ولإيش وصلنا بالنهاية في الخطة. مبررات اختيار محطة وادي موسى كأحد قصص النجاح في خطة سلامة الصرف الصحي. الأهمية الجغرافية لمحطة وادي موسى. الأهمية الجغرافية والسياحية، كون محطة وادي موسى بتخدم منطقة وادي موسى السياحية اللي بتضم مدينة البتراء اللي هي تعتبر من أهم الوجهات السياحية في الأردن. الضغط على الموارد المائية، كون الأردن تعاني من شح المصادر المائية وزيادة الطلب على المياه في المنطقة، وهذا بيستدعي حلول فعالة من ضمنها خطة سلامة الصرف الصحي، واحتياج الملح للأداء البيئي من خلال المحافظة على أهمية البيئة السياحية وحماية المصادر المياه الجوفية في المنطقة، وتوفر بنية تحتية مناسبة في محطة وادي موسى، كونها يوجد فيها إمكانية جيدة للرقابة وإدارة المخاطر وإدارة الجودة في المحطة، وهذا بيجعلها بيئة أو نموذج مناسب لتطبيق برامج خطة سلامة الصرف الصحي. ومن أهم المعززات في محطة وادي موسى إنها معدلات إزالة الملوثات فيها عالية جدا، فكانت السي او دي 97.8، البي او دي 99.1 نسبتها، والمواد العالقة الكلية نسبة الإزالة فيها 96.5%. التزامها بالمعايير الوطنية، فهي تلتزم بالمعايير الأردنية لاستخدام المياه المعالجة بطريقة آمنة، وبيعزز استخدامها في الزراعات والري الأخضر. اعتماد منهجية قائمة على تقييم المخاطر، زي ما حكينا عندهم نماذج وإدارة طوارئ في المحطة، وهذا بيساعدنا في تقييم الأخطار الصحية والبيئية ووضع خطط تشغيلية ومراقبة تضمن الاستجابة الفعالة لأي طارئ يحدث في المحطة. دعم استدامة الموارد المائية، فهي المحطة بتعزز تحسين جودة المياه المعالجة، وهذا بيدعم استراتيجية ندرة المياه وزيادة معدلات إعادة الاستخدام. قمنا في الأردن بتشكيل عدة فرق، أهمها اللجنة التوجيهية برئاسة أمين عام وزارة المياه والري، وعضوية كل من أمين عام وزارة البيئة ووزارة الزراعة، والفريق الوطني اللي بيتكون من نقاط اتصال في وزارة المياه ووزارة البيئة ووزارة الزراعة. وقمنا بتشكيل لجنة فنية كانت بتضم أعضاء من مختلف قطاع المياه، سواء في المصادر المياه أو بصرف الصحي، وكادر من محطة وادي موسى، بالإضافة إلى كادر اللي هو نقاط الاتصال في الفريق الوطني. هون بتبين فريق العمل اللي قام بزيارة المحطة ليتحقق من المعلومات اللي احنا بنحتاجها وجمع المعلومات بشكل دقيق. منطقة الدراسة اللي هي تقع محطة وادي موسى في محافظة نمعان لواء البتراء، عدد السكان فيها 31,000 نسمة. طريقة العمل، قمنا إحنا بالبداية في عمل اجتماعات مع الفريق الفني وتحديد أولويات العمل والمعلومات المطلوبة، وعملنا خطة أنشطة ربطناها في زمن، وقمنا بجمع المعلومات من سواء مع منطقة الدراسة، عدد السكان، خطوط الصرف الصحي وغيرها. بعدين قمنا بتحضير نماذج وتعبئتها بالتعاون مع المشغلين والمختصين والتدقيق على هذه المعلومات، بالإضافة إلى زيارات ميدانية لمحطة وادي موسى ومديرية البيئة في وادي موسى والمشغلين والمزارع المستفيدة من هذه المحطة، حتى نأخذ كل النقاط في عين الاعتبار في الخطة، ومراجعة المعلومات وأي إضافة منهم بتفيدنا في الخطة وبالأخير كانت في عنا اجتماعات دورية لتدقيق هذه النماذج والمصفوفات ورسم الخرائط وتدقيقها والاستفادة من الخبراء الموجودين كانوا معنا لإعداد الخطة.
طبعا بس بدي أأكد على نقطة للحضور خصوصا اللي بيعرفوا محطة وادي موسى. محطة وادي موسى هي عبارة عن محطة فعلا زي ما فرجت زميلتنا أماني، البرفورمانس تبعها كتير كويس، يعني بتعالج المي لمرحلة كتير عالية. السبب اختيارها الرئيسي هو إنه إحنا عمالنا بنتدرب كيف بدنا نطور خطة ماخدين فيها كل التفاصيل اللازمة بحيث إنها تطلع خطة كويسة. والصحيح بتذكر إلى الآن في بداية الاجتماعات مع الفاو إحنا عم نناقش كيف بدنا نحط معايير عشان نختار الموقع، كيف إيش اللي بدنا نعمله يعني. أنا كانت توجهي بالأول الصحيح إنه أنا حابة أروح على منطقة تكون فيها قصص ومشاكل كتير عشان لما نطلع بخطة ونطبقها يبين التحسين. لكن اللي بتذكر إلى الآن الحمدي كان بيحكي لا بجوز أحسن مدام عم نحكي عن بايلوتينج خلينا ناخد إشي سهل التعامل معه علشان إحنا عم نتدرب لسه. فإحنا الهدف تبعنا إنه بدنا نتدرب، فخلينا نجرب ناخد منطقة سهل نطلع عليها الخطوات ونتفرج عليهم ونعرف نمشي فيها وتكون على الأقل ستيبس بالنسبة لنا واضحة ونعرض هذا الحكي. وبالفعل الأردن راحت لمحطة وادي موسى على اعتبارها من المحطات الصغيرة واللي هي فيها أصلاً إعادة استخدام بطريقة كويسة ومتابعة من جهات مختلفة. منطقة الدراسة زي ما ذكرت زميلتي عدد السكان عفواً ليش هيك عم بعمل؟ عم برجع رجوع سوري. نكرر بالمناسبة النقطة الثانية اللي حابة أحكيها إنه العرض صحيح اللي كان لازم تقوم فيه زميلة أخرى من اللي هي المهندسة رانيا شعبان هي اللي أعدت السلايدات، لكن امبارح بعتت إنه هي كتير مريضة نتمنى لها طبعا السلامة، فأنا بعمل البرزنتيشن اون هير بيهاف، لكن هي محضرة بمجهودها وبشغلها هي والفريق اللي أعدوها، فأنا فقط عم بنقل رأيهم. أوكي للأمانة يعني activated sludge نعم نعم activated sludge secondary treatment وفيها chlorination وهلأ بجوز أظن ممكن يكون في صوت. تفضل. هي هلأ رح نيجي عليهم. هي مصممة ل 3400 بيجيها تقريبا 2800 الآن، بس رح نيجي عليهم هدول بسرعة. أوكي تمام. المحطة تقع في سلطة إقليم العقبة في وادي موسى على امتداد سلسلة الشراب الجنوب زي ما أنتم شايفين. فيها من أهم خصائص المنطقة جيولوجيا أنه فيها صدع كتير كبير وعمق المياه الجوفية في بعض المناطق لا يتجاوز 60 أو 70 متر، فهي معرضة جدا لأي تلوث من السطح. والأهم من هيك إنها هي محمية أثرية، ولما تصممت المحطة أصلاً كانت مصممة على أساس إنه ممنوع يطلع من المحطة إفلوانت، ممنوع مي تطلع على المحمية الأثرية، وبالتالي لازم يكون زيرو إفلوانت. وبالتالي اختارنا الموقع واختاروا موقع إعادة استخدام على حدود محاذية جدا للمحطة بحيث إنه ما تطلع المي ما يصير لها ديسشارج برا. تضم المنطقة اللي درسناها 4 أماكن هي معان وادي موسى والحسينية والطيبة. عدد سكان المحافظة تقريبا 172,000. تغطي خدمات شبكة الصرف الصحي تقريبا 70% من سكان الإقليم، ونسبة الخدمة فقط في معان أقل هي 42%، لكن على مستوى الإقليم كامل تصل إلى 70%، يعني مغطيين بشبكة صرف صحي. عملنا زي خرائط جيولوجية تفرجي وين مصادر المياه، أعماق حسب ما توفر طبعا من بيانات موجودة في سلطة المياه زودتنا بعمق المياه الجوفية. السبب إنه الجزء الآخر اللي هم 30% اللي مش موصولين بشبكة الصرف الصحي ممكن إنهم يأثروا على المياه الجوفية، وهذا بيعزز فكرة إنه لما نشتغل بالسانيتيشن سيفتي بلان لازم ناخذ بعين الاعتبار كمان الووتر ريسورسز، وهذا بيجيبنا على انتجريتد ابروتش إنه ناخذ في الووتر والسانيتيشن مع بعض في المنطقة اللي عمالنا بنشتغل فيها. لكن شفنا من الشغلات كمان المهمة إنه تنظيم المنطقة هناك محدودة، ما فيها نشاطات صناعية، لا يوجد مصانع عالية أو متوسطة الخطورة حسب تصنيف وزارة البيئة. يسمح فقط في بعض ويجب أن يصرح لهم الصناعات اللي هي منخفضة الخطورة، وهناك وتبعد هاي بكل الأحوال 5 كيلومتر عن المنطقة السياحية. الخارطة بتفرج الخطوط الحمراء هي عبارة عن الصدوع الموجودة، الفولس اللي موجودة في المنطقة واللي هي تعتبر من الرئيسية في الأردن. الشغلة الثانية درسنا مصادر مياه الشرب سواء كان آبار أو ينابيع. الينابيع الموجودة كانت شغالة، لكن مع الجفاف حالات الجفاف بطلت تزود مي أبدا، فكان التركيز عموما على المعلومات اللي موجودة عن نوعية الآبار، مياه الآبار الجوفية، علشان نتأكد إنه ما يكون أصلا في أي تلوث من المياه من مياه الصرف الصحي، حتى المعالجة إنها ما عم توصل، أو عفوا الناس اللي مش مربوطين إنه ما توصل المياه الحفر الامتصاصية لمياه الآبار. هاي الخزانات يلي بتزود المنطقة بمياه الشرب، بنعرف أماكنها، نوعية المياه فيها، جمعنا معلومات عنها علشان نتأكد من طريقة التعامل معها، وإنه ما يصير في من المصدر أصلا قبل ما توصل للخزانات أي نوع من أنواع التلوث، وإذا كان في نشوف إذا سببه هو من الحفر الامتصاصية ولا لا. هاي أيضا عن ضخ ما رح ندخل فيه، لكن هو فقط لإعطائكم صورة عن البيانات اللي تم تجميعها علشان نقدر نوصف الموقع. يعني الشغلة الثانية خدمات الصرف الصحي زي ما حكيت، اللي هم بوصلوا لمحطة التنقية 70% من السكان موصولين بشبكة خرسانية بأقطار تتراوح بين 150 ل 500 ملم. الحفر الامتصاصية بالتواصل مع المحطة ما بوصلهم غير صهريجين باليوم، بيوصلهم فقط 60 متر مكعب، وهذا معناته لما قاموا الإخوة في مجموعة الأردن ببعض الحسابات فقط 5% من المياه غير المعالجة تصل للمحطة، بقية المياه 95% منها غالبا تمشي بالتربة، يعني ممكن توصل ممكن ما توصل. طبعا في محدودية في وجود آبار اللي بتعطينا معلومات عن نوعية المياه، لأنه سلطة ما عندها هناك آبار تو مونيتور نوعية المياه اللي موجودة، مش كل المنطقة مغطاة. فطبعا هناك تهديد أو احتمال potential خلينا نحكي ممكن يكون من المنطقة غير المخدومة بشبكة الصرف الصحي. تم تغطية كمان محطات الرفع اللي موجودة في عدة محطات، 4 محطات عاملة، أكبرها هي محطة رفع وادي موسى، في 3 محطات تانية شفنا قديش بيبعدوا عن المحطة، وكل بيانات عن تجمعت عن قدرة كل محطة، وكمان إيش كيف عمالها بتشتغل، شو النظام اللي موجود فيها، عدد العاملين، كل هاي المعلومات تجمعت عن الموقع. هذه بالنسبة لمحطة الصرف الصحي زي ما حكينا، هي محطة بتعالج لدرجة ثلاثية إذا عمالنا بنحكي عن إزالة البكتيريا. أنشئت المحطة في عام 2000 بقدرة تصميمية 3400 بتستقبل 2800، عمرها تقريبا 25 سنة وما زالت عاملة بكفاءة كتير عالية. الحمل العضوي اللي صممت عليه برضو جمعنا المعلومات الخاصة فيها، يعني المعلومات الفنية كاملة تم تجميعها من شركة مياه العقبة، زودونا فيها سواء كان في المحطة أو في الشبكة نفسها، جمعناهم من هذا فقط علشان اللي سأل الأخ سأل عن شو المحطة الموجودة. هي Activated Sludge System في كلورينيشن، وبعدين بوند بتجمع المي وتضخ يوميا لمرحلة السقاية. جمعنا بيانات، تم تجميع بيانات عن المدخل والمخرج. هاي صورة تحت بتفرجي المدخل، صورة بتفرجي المخرج، والمخرج صحيح نوعيته بجوز من أحسن المحطات يلي أنا شفتهم بجولاتنا، فهي محطة صحيح ممتازة، بالإضافة إلى أنها في محمية أثرية، فالمكان فعلا جميل يعني بيشجع على الشغل فيه. الحمقى كان في الأول عندهم مشكلة فيها لحديت السنة الماضية لأنها بتتجمع داخل المحطة، فكانت ممكن تؤدي إلى بعض التحديات. قامت وزارة البيئة بإلزامهم بعمل عقد، ألزمت الشركة المشغلة اللي هي مياه العقبة عمل عقد مع مقاول عشان يتم نقل الحمقى إلى أماكن مرخص فيها. فالمشكلة هاي اوريدي انحلت، لكن صحيح في 2025 فيما قبل ذلك كانت تتجمع الحمقى في المكان. منطقة إعادة الاستخدام بيستعملوا في جمعيتين بياخدوا المي باتفاقيات مع مياه العقبة. الجمعيات بتقوم، واحدة من الجمعيات بتعتمد فقط على استخدام المي لغايات زراعة الأعلاف، والجمعية الثانية بتزرع شغلتين، تزرع الأعلاف، تزرع أشجار مثمرة، والأشجار المثمرة كتير أنواع، يعني منها أعتقد دراء، جوافة، حمضيات، مختلف أنواع الحمضيات موجودة. تمت مقابلة المجموعات من الجمعيات يعني نفهم منهم أكثر كيف نظام الري بالتنقيط، وهذا النظام كمان حتى كلر كودد، يعني لون فقط لإعادة الاستخدام موجود ودائما يجدد من قبل الجمعية. سألناهم إيش التحديات اللي عندهم الإخوة الشباب. هذه فقط زي زودونا فيه بفرجي الأراضي الزراعية يلي كان فيها إعادة الاستخدام. بالأخير تم رسم النظام كامل من أول ما بتتزود المي للمنطقة لحديت ما توصل زي ما انتم شايفين لآخر إشي المي في إيش وين وصلت، يعني بأنو برودكت صار. أوكي، فهذا تم متابعته كاملة بعد ما وصفنا النظام اللي هو أكبر، خلينا نحكي جزء واللي بيحتاج أكثر وقت. بعديها قيمنا المخاطر وقسمناها لعدة مجموعات. مجموعة كانت تشتغل على المشاكل المرتبطة بشبكة أو المخاطر المرتبطة بشبكة الصرف الصحي، المخاطر المرتبطة في محطة التنقية، المخاطر المرتبطة في محطات الرفع في إعادة الاستخدام، وكذلك في المناطق غير المخدومة بشبكة الصرف الصحي. كل مجموعة اشتغلت على مخاطر معينة. بعدها تم هيك، هذه بس زي عبارة عن نماذج قاموا الفرق بتعبئتها شو هي المخاطر عند كل خطوة من خطوات النظام، وكل ما قدرنا نكون محددين أكثر. يعني مثلا في شبكة الصرف الصحي كانوا يقابلوا مياه العقبة تشغيل تبع خطوط شبكة الصرف الصحي، يسألوهم وين أكثر المشاكل. عندي الأوتيلات ناخذ مثلا الكوردينيتس بحيث إن نقدر نسقطها على النظام على الGIS ماب عشان نعرف بالضبط وين النقاط يلي ممكن تكون خلينا نقول هوت علشان نقدر ناخذ عليها أكشن بطريقة مباشرة. لتحديد الأولويات مثل ما ذكر زميلنا صهيب، حطينا تعريف ولحقنا فيه بالضبط المانيوال تبع WHO في تحديد الأولويات، وصار عدة اجتماعات الصحيح شارك فيها سواء كان فيرتشوال أو فيس تو فيس. كل المجموعة يلي إلها علاقة بالموضوع، سواء كانت مياه العقبة أو جزء، ومياه العقبة مقسمة طبعا لجزء التشغيل الشبكات، واللي مسؤولين عن المحطة نفسها ومحطات الرفع كانوا موجودين، بحيث إنه عملوا لنا تأكيد على كل خطر وساعدونا في ترتيب الأولويات، إنه هذا له أولوية لأنه أثر. وكان في عنا حادث مثلا السنة الماضية بيخص إنجري كبيرة، يعني إما صار ديسك أو صار في جرح استدعي يروح للمستشفى. فهاي الشغلات كلها كانت تناقش وأخذت بعين الاعتبار. وصلنا لهاي المرحلة لأنه بعدها بعد هذه كان في تحديد ل incremental improvement plan. إيش الميجرز يلي أنا أو الإجراءات أو التدخلات يلي ممكن أدخل فيها بحيث إنه أحسن النظام. خليني بس أضرب مثل سريع وأنهي فيه البرزنتيشن على السريع. مثلا في موضوع إعادة الاستخدام، لأنه المي كتير نظيفة. واحدة من الجمعيات الزراعية صار عندها حادث أو حادثين إنه ناس من المارة شربوا من المي، أو مثلا لا تتوفر في المنطقة عندهم أماكن يخزنوا فيها مية شرب وما عندهم مصدر مياه شرب بديل. فيعني صارت الخطة إنه بس ساعدونا إنه يكون في عندنا ستورج علشان نحط مية شرب بحيث ونكتب عليها إنه هاي مياه للشرب. أوكي، فيعني شغلات أوقات بتكون بسيطة كتير لكن بتساهم بتحسين كتير كبير. أوكي، فكنا بنتفرج إيش في انترفنشن كتير بسيط لكن يساعد بتحسين كويس. هذا كانت اوف برايورتي. والله يعطيكم العافية، بالمستقبل إن شاء الله البرزنتيشن الجاي بتكون كاملة الخطة. الله يعطيكم العافية.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maha and Bishmandisa Amani, for walking us through the details of Jordan. It was very difficult to try to stop Maha because the level of details that needs to be presented is actually huge and really reflects the amount of work and effort that has been done across the past year and a half. Now, as we've already started half an hour late, we will now stop for a quick coffee break, and we will come after the break continuing with the last presentation, and then we'll open the floor for questions and reflections from the audience and continue with the second part. Thank you very much. May I ask the presenters to have a quick photo on the stage for this session, please? Thank you.